So, like she said, I'm Kathy Prince, and I'm representing Arts Trussville. And it is a new organization. We've only been in existence for 8 months. So we think it's timely. We think it's time for a new art organization. The city of Trussville is, getting ready to expand some of the emphasis in the cultural arts. So we hope we're going to be a good fit for that need. So Christy has asked me to speak on quality of life as it relates to the cultural arts. And like I said, I think that's a perfect match, because when I think of quality of life, I think of about 6 things. I think of schools, and Trussville has some of the highest ranked schools in the state, so we're already good there, right? Crime, security, that type of thing, I think Trussville does pretty well. Shopping, restaurants, green spaces. We have this beautiful Cahaba project neighborhood that's walkable. The downtown is walkable. The greenway along the Cahaba, the hiking trails, we have a lot of green space. Sports and recreation, we've got tons of that. So I think the next thing that Trussville needs to emphasize is the cultural arts. And I think it's not just me saying that. It was in 2018 that the city surveyed the community, and that was high on the list as a priority to emphasize in the future. So the city did respond to that. They mentioned that as a goal in their Trussville 2040 plan. Building a cultural arts center is in that plan. So we hope that becomes a reality, and that we would be a part of bridging that gap between cultural arts, community in the state, and the city government. So I thought I would kind of begin by explaining what an arts council is. First of all, arts councils are fairly common. The Americans for the Arts estimates that there's 4,500 local arts agencies in the United States. So that's astonishing, really, to think about. So they're not uncommon. Communities all around the state of Alabama have them. Trussville actually has an arts council, as you may know. You've been to the ACTA building. When it was established in the 80s, it was an all-encompassing arts council. But the community theater sort of has taken that over and consumed all of their time. And so we are trying to fill that gap with what we are doing. So I'm going to just sort of define what an arts council is. You'll hear different terms. Sometimes you'll hear the term like a cultural alliance or an arts alliance or arts agency or something like that. But they're all basically talking about the same things. They are local groups. Very often they're nonprofit organizations that work in a community service aspect to sort of bridge the gap, as we said, to promote, support, and develop the arts at the local level. So as you could imagine, musicians, theater people, artists, sculptors all around the state have a need and a desire to get involved in the community, to gain exposure and get the communities involved in what they're doing. But they need that bridge to the city. And that's what these arts agencies, they fill that need. Very often they are nonprofit. Sometimes they are part of the city government. I can think of a couple of examples where they are part of the city government. That would be the city of Homewood. Their arts council is part of the city. City of Prattville also has that arrangement. But for the most part, they are independent and serve as that sort of a bridge. They help to help the arts survive, they help the arts thrive, and they connect the city and business leaders to the power of the arts in improving the overall quality of life in the community. So as a nonprofit organization, we work through donations and grants and sponsorships, but we can take that money and turn it into events that benefit the entire community. So I did a little research looking around the state to see what is out there, and I created a list, and I'm going to give you a copy if you want one. I looked at all the cities in the state of Alabama that have a similar population between, say, 20,000 and 30,000 people, and how many of them had arts councils. And they all do, with the exception of Bessemer and the city of Trussville. So we are feeling a need, and I think it's a timely thing for us to do. On this handout, which if you want one, I don't have one for everybody, but anybody who wants one, it lists their websites, and you can go to, say, the city of Oxford, or the city of Foley, or Athens, or Northport and Enterprise, and see what they're doing with regard to the arts. So Arts Trussville, as I said, has just gotten started, but we already are going to have some great events. The month of November is going to have 3 public events at the Trussville Public Library. We're going to have 2 speakers to speak on different aspects of the Cahaba River, the beauty of the Cahaba River, and the ecological challenges of the river. We partnered with the Cahaba River Society earlier this year and created an online art call, and we were able to bring in 130 artists around the state to submit artwork, and we pared it down to 40 finalists that will be exhibited in the Trussville Public Library the entire month of November. We're going to have an artist reception November 9th. It's going to be catered by the Hewitt-Trussville Culinary Academy, so that's another great community connection. And then on November 12th, we're going to have a documentary that's an award-winning film documentary on the Cahaba River by Hunter Nichols. There'll be some really great all-free events. And this is trying to show the community sort of what we can do and where we can go with public support. We have some goals, and I think that Leadership Trussville could really partner with us as an organization, because one of our goals is we want to have a first-rate art festival for the city of Trussville. And one of the things that we want to do to start that off is to partner with some of the board members from organizations like the Bluff Park Art Association or Kentuck in Northport. And we have those volunteers ready to help us. So probably as soon as we get through all our November events, maybe get to January, we're going to form an actual art festival advisory committee. And we're going to look at it. We're going to develop a list of artists around the state who like to participate in festivals, what they're looking for in an ideal festival. We want it to be something where we have actually studied it and know what people want, what the public wants. And we could really use somebody from Leadership Trussville to participate in helping us develop that. So I know y'all have to have projects. So anyone who wants to get with me later, even if you have another idea that's related to the cultural arts, we can definitely partner with you, connect you with some really great people that are already stepping forward to help us with what we're doing. So there's a lot of opportunity there. So I think that's basically all I had to say. Anybody have any questions? All right.
You're saying that we need an art council. So is that what Arts Trussville is trying to become? Trying to become the council for the city of Trussville?
Right. Okay. So we are focusing on the visual arts with our events this year and next year. We're trying to gain awareness in the community, confidence in the community, because we have a lot of arts already here, but we don't have any central planning or coordination. We have things like the ACTA Theater. We have the Trussville Chorus. We have Tapestry Story Arts. We have the Trussville Photographers. We have a lot. And we hope that at a point in the future, we can merge together, and especially as we look towards having a cultural arts center in the future, having something like that would be useful. I'm sure that the center would be run by a director, but having a volunteer group that is involved in the diversity of the arts in the state can only benefit the success of that facility. So, did I answer your question? Okay. Anybody else? Money. We've had some raffles and they were successful. We're going to have some fundraisers in the winter. We possibly may be having an art show at the entertainment district in the spring. So these will bring in some fees, and what we hope, and I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the big art organizations like Bluff Park, they started out as grassroots efforts. They were just trying to raise money for their library. That's all they were trying to do. And it grew and it grew and it grew, and it got so big that they were exceeding, the money that they were bringing in was exceeding the needs to perpetuate the art show. So they have excess money that they give back to the community. They donate to places like Aldridge Gardens. They give scholarships to high school students in Hoover. So that's kind of what we hope where we will end up, is we will be a real community service organization raising money through the arts and plowing it back in to support the arts. Of money? Oh my gosh, I have no idea. Well, to do what? To have. Well, okay, so we have some budgets that we've taken from organizations like Bluff Park or Kentucky. We know that it can, it's endless. Like, they're in the millions of dollars in these organizations. But something, say, like Mountain Brook Art Association that has a spring show every year. I know what their budget is and what they bring in and what it takes to perpetuate that. So it could be anywhere from $2,000 to $2 million. It really could. But to have a really nice art show running at $2,000, turning that over, and any excess that's generated would be part of our mission, to be in community service with that money. So, do you have a question?
Much larger than Trussville, but similar in some ways because of their strictly school sports. So you've got the academic and sports, and they were seriously lacking in arts and culture. And I think Trussville has that need too, so I think you said it really well. But the Bluff Park Art Association grew so much that they can make acquisitions of really fine works every show. They have a collection now of those works that is grown every year. They can load that permanent art collection on exhibit, so we can out. That raises awareness for the arts. It does. Artists that grow weeks and pounds, and emerging artists, and really valuable piece of your collection.
Mhm.
It puts you in a position to do a lot of things, like commission sculptures, to do work,
Mhm.
with artworks. So there's a lot of things there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's great. Yes, Amy's got a connection to all these arts organizations, and she's helping us as she can.